me. My name is Miss C, and I'm over in Mrs. King's class, so I only know half of you. But I'm going to be reading you a chapter called The Death Head Stamp.
Yes.
I don't know. Does anyone have a prediction what this might be about?
Yes.
CJ? Starting the war, okay.
It might be about death.
Might be about that? One more.
That's a good guess.
It might be like if you didn't do something that the British wanted to do, you got your head cut off.
All right. Well, let's read and find out. The Stamp Act of 1765 was the last straw. Parliament had passed a new tax. Now, every piece of paper that changed hands in the colonies, every newspaper, marriage license, will, diploma, and land deed had to carry a British stamp before it could be considered legal. And the colonists had to pay for these stamps. People were furious. Riots broke out in Boston. Does anyone know what a riot is? Have you ever heard of that before? Monty?
It's kind of, it's hard to explain, It's like when a bunch of people, when they don't like something, they join together, and they, hard to explain it.
Are they happy when they do that? No? They're kind of angry, right? All right, let's read a little more, okay? In other cities, there were demonstrations and violent speeches against the British. To many, the Stamp Act seemed like the death of liberty. Americans didn't mind paying taxes to their local governments. That seemed fair because they elected their own representatives. But there was nobody to represent them in British Parliament. The Stamp Act was taxation without representation. It could not be allowed. What do you think taxation without representation might mean? Take a guess. Back there in the blue shirt?
It might mean that British were making taxes on the colonists, and the colonists had no one to represent them in the parliament.
Good. Great answer. Anyone else have another idea? Rosie?
Like, it kind of means, I think, that it might mean, like, they are taxing people without knowing that they are gonna, and they're not really the idea.
Good. So what Rosie said was that they were taxing them and they weren't okay with that. They didn't have any say in it. And the government was taxing them anyway. That's what taxation without representation, that's probably how they felt. Groups of angry men formed bands called the Sons of Liberty. That's important. They burst into the homes of stamp tax collectors and warned them to resign, to step down. If a stamp tax collector refused, the Sons of Liberty threw rocks through his precious windows, and glass was very expensive. If he still held out, they smashed his house and all his belongings. Well, naturally, hardly any stamps were sold. Parliament finally gave in and repealed the Stamp Act. What do you think it means when you repeal something? Right there?
Take it back.
Take it back. So they got rid of it, right? They took away the Stamp Act. What wonderful news! Bells rang out in every city. People danced in the streets. They cheered and drank toasts to good King George. Long live the king! They were sure that the king was on their side. Now they thought America would be treated fairly